G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam tennis. This segment and these segments here on the Yarra River are basically a proof of concept for our live broadcast, live streaming broadcast concept. Hoping to demonstrate to potential sponsors, potential advertisers, potential financial backers, and especially fast channels and over-the-top streaming distributors worldwide who are hungry for unique, differentiated, diverse content in the sports media space, the sports content space, perhaps the sports documentary space, and definitely in the broadcast space, the content space. G'day, welcome back to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam tennis, produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Life, we are based at the home of the Australian Open. We are here 365 days of the year. Melbourne is home, and it is also home to the first Grand Slam of the year at Melbourne Park. You'll see over the other side of the Yarra River there, you will see Rod Laver Arena, and I'd like to conclude here with some brief explanations further as evidence of this proof of concept for a live production sports broadcast that can be done without broadcast rights, without film permits, and with a minimal crew, 2 to 4 people on the ground, supported by one production technician in a studio based in Melbourne remotely. So how did this concept come up? It has been done it has been done before. The concept that Wise Words Media is presenting is basically a mimic and not a direct copy, but we've seen this technique already being successfully broadcast from the grounds of Wimbledon by the broadcast rights owner for Wimbledon, where 3 tennis professionals, retired or coaches, sit in a huddle of 3 people speaking for anywhere between 7 to 10 to 11 hours, a live stream broadcast, constantly talking about the tennis at Wimbledon, constantly talking about results, constantly talking about matchups, and especially providing cutaways to player interviews, press conferences, but largely speaking from a base of sports knowledge, tennis specific knowledge. And that's specifically where we got this idea from. So it's proven, it's been done before. What we need is production partners, sponsorship partners, TV digital advertising campaign contributors, and the rest, once we can fund this operation, the rest is quite easy. It'll be easy to source cast and crew, managed by Wise Words Media, produced by Wise Words Media, and we would like to partner with any fast channels, platforms, anyone in the over-the-top streaming space and we know that there are those of you out there looking for sports-specific content or sports documentary content. Please contact Wise Words Media at consulting@wisewords.com.au. We also have a very heavily researched and investigated proof of concept document that we're happy to share. We have up to 6 different broadcast concepts to pitch to those that are interested, and we would love to get this up and running for the Australian Open 2025, because it would be that easy. The content is there, the information is there, the proof of our audience is there, and we would like to grow our audience through this live broadcast, streaming live concept. And then once it's there, it can be cut up afterwards into episodes or episodic content. The audio can be lifted and put into podcast platforms like Acast, which we already have a presence on. So it's over to you. You've heard the pitch. You've had the concept explained. It's very light and low maintenance in terms of no broadcast rights needed, barely any crew and cast needed, and no film permits. Very little production expense to go on. It's really exceptionally easy to get up and running. And as you can see, Melbourne in sunshine is an absolute treat. And I'll finish off with this. There is no other production entity filming or producing footage or coverage of the Australian Open from this location with this concept. So you can jump in early and be a part of something uniquely innovative, which is what Wise Words Media specialises in. So the proof is there, the picture tells the story, and the picture is telling more than 1,000 words. So we welcome your input, we welcome your questions, we welcome your feedback, but most of all we would welcome you as a partner, not just an audience member. So I think that's enough for the moment. So we'll wrap it up in the next segment, and this has been a monster update from Wise Words Media for this Australian Open Life. So I can only say don't go away, because for the final time today we will be right back. G'day and welcome back to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is Grand Slam tennis, and produced by Wise Words Media. It's Sean McIntyre speaking, the producer and the creative brains behind Wise Words Media's This Australian Open Life. We're coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, and across the Yarra River from Rod Laver Arena. We're on the southern side of the Yarra River and the Swan Street Bridge, and the reason that we're here, and we're going to be wrapping up this elongated, extended episode of This Australian Open Life. You might be watching us on our YouTube platform, you might be listening to us on the Acast platform as part of our podcast, but this segment and these segments here on the Yarra River are basically a proof of concept for our live broadcast, live streaming broadcast concept that we've had in our pocket for a couple of years now, and hoping to demonstrate to potential sponsors, potential advertisers, potential financial backers, and especially fast channels and over-the-top streaming distributors worldwide who are hungry for unique, differentiated, diverse content in the sports media space, the sports content space, perhaps the sports documentary space, and definitely in the broadcast space, the content space. We know, Wise Words Media knows, that there is a desperate hunger, desperate not too strong a word, but desperate hunger for new content to feed those channels. And we think Wise Words Media is very strong in the belief that we've come up with a live broadcast content around the Australian Open, the first Grand Slam of every year. We've been covering the Australian Open for 3 years now, and we got some runs on the board, but we want to grow the audience, we want to grow the concept, and the concept that we've come up with is a live broadcast concept. And the beauty of our concept is that it's built around covering the Australian Open, but not purchasing broadcast rights. That's right, we do not want to spend any money on broadcast rights. We have proved with our content over the last 3 years that there is an audience appetite for tennis content and sports content, which is not all about providing point-by-point coverage or covering press conferences or interviewing players, although that's what we would like to do. We have established and proven evidence of our niche in providing content that is about the Australian Open, which provides insights and commentary around what is going on, and also behind the scenes. And we also want to build that niche further. We've been covering Australian Open qualifying since 2022, and we know that there's a demand and an audience for that content, and we want to grow it. So what Wise Words Media wants to provide a proof of concept today to show you that it is possible and it is achievable to produce a live broadcast live from Melbourne during the Australian Open. Now, how is this possible? How can you do this without broadcast rights? Well, simply you film off-site. How is it possible to film off-site? Like, how big a production crew do you need? This can be done with 2 or 3 people and can be managed in a studio remotely. Wise Words Media has broadcast production partners in Melbourne that can provide support and technical services to a crew of no bigger than 2 or 3 people on the ground. That's right. I'm using a Sony vlog camera, ZV-1, for this particular shot, and that can be hooked into via Wi-Fi or a cord to a laptop and sent remotely back to a broadcast studio in the suburbs of Melbourne and managed there by a studio technician. In Melbourne, and this is the key to our concept, in Melbourne, the city of Melbourne, for public spaces, filming in public spaces, you do not need a film permit where the crew is 5 or less. 5 or less. So our concept will provide and produce content live and stream it live from Melbourne, Australia during the Australian Open every single day with 1 technical crew person, a runner or assistant, and 1 to 2 broadcast presenters in this location or somewhere near to it. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam tennis, coming to you from the home of the Australian Open. We are live, as we're recording, we're live from the banks of the Yarra River. We're on the southern side of the Yarra River and you are looking at Rod Laver Arena, and I want to present further evidence of our broadcast production concept, live streaming tennis sports content live from the Australian Open. We don't need broadcast rights, we don't need to be on site, and we don't need film permits. We can produce this content with as little as 2 to 4 people in the crew, live from on site with the support of a production studio. We'd only need 1 tech person live streaming, and the content obviously recorded and packaged and put into segments or episodes for repeat viewing as episodic content for eternity after the Australian Open finishes. Now, the production costs boil down to simply hiring presenters who are experts in presenting content. They don't have to be tennis experts. They could merely be presenters with skills in live broadcasting. There would be pre-production efforts going into creating scripts and run sheets and call sheets. Simply sitting in front of this camera location, which is skewed to the left, just to give you an idea of what the banks of the Yarra looks like. Just to try and, because I'm not going to move the camera to show you up and down this particular area to the left and the right, but you'll get a sense of what the quality of the sunlight. This is very similar to what you would get during January of every year. Far hotter on some days, obviously, but it's quite likely that every single day will be like this. With daylight saving, you'll have light from about 5 o'clock in the morning local time to about 9 o'clock in the evening local time. It's obviously open to the weather, so subject to weather, but can easily be packed down in the event of bad weather or rain or thunderstorms. and can be put back up again easily once the bad weather passes. So presenters sitting in, say, this location or something similar within 10 to 20 metres of this particular shot that is framed up, sitting on deck chairs or directors' chairs, but sitting in a comfortable spot and sitting comfortably, and even just presenting live score updates as they happen, intercut with possibly pre-prepared interviews or presentations, but importantly sponsors messages or digital TV advertising campaigns, and giving it a break in that format. We have investigated this broadcast concept. It's already up and running, and I'm going to explain exactly in a broad way what we've seen being produced around the world in the past couple of years, particularly with regards to tennis content in particular. Don't go away, we'll be right back. So there you go, it's Sean McIntyre speaking, but can't tell you how much I appreciate your viewership and your patronage today. And as always, please give us some feedback. It's nice to know that people are interested in what we put out there, but most of all interested to know what you think of this live broadcast pitch, but also interested to know if you think what we've put up there today from Kia Arena and the banks of the Yarra River, what you think of that, because that's brand new for us this year, and we want to change it up all the time. But what we've got coming up from the 6th of January, you'll be seeing a lot of coverage, a lot of footage, permission pending, because now the media team at the Australian Open are aware of what we'd like to do during qualifying. And also, I nearly forgot, we want to bring you some behind the scenes action of people getting to and getting from the Australian Open during qualifying, and perhaps even the Boxing Day test. Don't go away, we'll be right back. For the time being, I think that just about covers everything. So I've had to take over hosting duties today. Sean McIntyre from Wise Words Media, the producer and the owner and the everything behind this Australian Open life. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and we will chat to you very soon. Bye for now. So, by extension, the Australian Open has announced in the last couple of weeks, and they're being built right now outside this court, party courts. So I'm so sorry, and I apologise to all of you around the world that are going to be watching the Australian Open. Competitive professional matches at our landmark tournament, the best tennis tournament, Grand Slam in the world, is now going to have drunken yobbos to catch a taxi ferry or a ferry taxi. It's about a 5-minute trip on the water. There's a pontoon, you'll see it passing in front of the camera now. So that's putting you on the spot while we're here, and we're just going to take a short break. Don't go away, we'll be right back. G'day and welcome back to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories, and our story is Grand Slam tennis. We're coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, and across the Yarra River from Rod Laver Arena. We're on the southern side of the Yarra River and the Swan Street Bridge, and the reason that we're here, and we're going to be wrapping up this elongated, extended episode of this Australian Open Life, You might be watching us on our YouTube platform. You might be listening to us on the Acast platform as part of our podcast. Professional in the fast channel space, in the over-the-top streaming space, and just generally we would love to get feedback in general from sports fans, tennis fans. If you're a fan of anything sports related, what do you think? Was this something you would watch? Of course it is, because TV formats are changing, sports broadcast formats are changing, the way sport is being presented and packaged is changing, and we only have to look in our own backyard. The Davis Cup has changed forever in the last couple of years. G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam Tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open, Melbourne Park, produced by Wise Words Media. This Australian Open Life, we're based in Melbourne, Australia. We'll be bringing you the sights, sounds, summer of tennis, qualifying news, live tournament match play, audio only, radio style commentary, and the tournament kicks off in mid-January 2024. Welcome back to this Australian Open Life. We tell stories and our story is Grand Slam Tennis, coming to you live from the home of the Australian Open in Melbourne, Australia. It's Sean McIntyre speaking, the producer of Wise Words Media. And just to finish up this final little 6 to 7 minute journey that I'm taking with you this morning, just to give you a heads up that we're covering a lot of our content strategy that we've got in our head, and the growth and the way I see Wise Words Media sees this product being presented to the audience, the global audience that we're seeking, and also how we want to export this across the world to cover every single Grand Slam plus Indian Wells. But the main purpose of today was just to let you know, don't be scared off by the the lack of polish, the lack of editing, the lack of usual blending of on-site footage. As those of you who have been with us for 2 or 3 years since we launched, you'll know that it's not my, it's just not my go to sit in front of a camera and be a talking head in a room by myself. I like to bring a very dynamic aspect to the footage that you see. Even though we're a small business, we are a sole trader ABN. But we've been, Wisewords Media, to fill you in, we've been networking this last 2 to 3 years with industry professionals in the over-the-top streaming space, the fast channel space, and there is an opportunity for us to try and get media accreditation this year for the first time ever, that we can film with freedom on site without being spoken to very not harshly, but very some of the conversations I've had with security people last year was new, and it's driven me to try and be a bit more proactive in getting a media accreditation. Anyway, so that's the go. Look forward to your thoughts and feedback. If you have any ideas, any input about what you'd like to see or how you'd like to see us presenting this content, let me know. And you can also email me direct, consulting@wisewords.com.au. That's about it for now. It's Sean McIntyre, producer at Wisewords Media. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we'll chat to you soon. Bye for now.